What's up guys, and welcome back to part 7 of this Mercedes minibus campervan conversion. So in part 1 to 6 we've completely stripped down the bus, removed all the original flooring, relaid new flooring with insulation, replaced all of the insulation under the windows, removed all of the original headlining, fully insulated that. We have water tanks fitted at the back, LPG tank fitted at the back, and solar panels on the roof. So the project's been cracking on quite nicely so far. So today it's going to be a bit more of an odds and sods sort of jobs. I'm going to be laying down the safety flooring on the new flooring that's just been laid down. I'm also going to be painting over and insulating some of the windows that aren't going to be used when the conversion's complete. Because obviously we've got lots of windows in here and not all of them are going to be needed when the conversion's fully complete. So some of the windows are going to be fully blacked out, some of them are just going to be half blacked out, just to give it a bit more privacy from people looking in from the street, looking in through the windows. If it's blacked out halfway up, they shouldn't really be able to see inside the windows at all. So the windows are going to get painted with some 2K acrylic black paint. That's basically just going to black them out completely. Then I'm going to be cutting down some of the 25mm insulation, and that's going to be getting stuck to the windows once they're fully painted. And then they're going to get fully boarded over as well, and then we'll be able to build up the interior a bit more from there on in. Now I do have all of the original side panels and the window covers from the conversion, so they're also going to go back on, just because they're fully moulded to the chassis, to the conversion itself, moulded around the windows, things like that. So I might as well use something that's built specifically for the job, and then once they're on, we'll be able to reclad over those as well. So I'd say there's going to be a mixture of jobs getting done within this episode. I'm going to be blacking out the windows, insulating those, hopefully getting the Altro safety flooring down on the flooring as well, and hopefully try and get some of the original trim put back in, which we'll then be able to clad on top of as well. So I'm going to get some safety gear out, some tools out, get cracked on, get some of this insulation cut down, get the windows painted and blacked out, and we'll see how far we progress at the end of this episode. So let's get cracked on. Right, so I've masked over all of the windows that aren't going to be painted. So anywhere that's still clear glass is going to be getting a coating of the 2K acrylic paint, and this is going to get applied with a proper spray gun with a compressor, just to try and get a nice even flat covering on all of the windows, just so there's not going to be any ripples or runs or anything like that. A nice even coating going through with the spray gun should black out these windows nicely. And then once the paint's dry, I can get the insulation cut and get that fitted in as well. So as I say, now all the windows are all masked off. I'm just going to get some of this 2K acrylic paint mixed up, get it into the gun, get it sprayed on, and we'll see what it looks like when it's all applied. Right, so that's all of the windows fully painted now. So now I'm just going to be cutting down the 25mm insulation and fitting that into the window voids where they've all been painted over. So anywhere where there's paint on the windows, that's going to be fully insulated. Then it's going to be encapsulated as well, with full cladding going over that at later stages during the conversion. But in the meantime, as I say, I'm quite happy with how all these windows have came out. Looking on the outside in, it's perfectly black, perfectly smooth, so I'm really happy with how it's turned out. So as I say, next steps, I'm going to get some of this 25mm Recticel PIR insulation cut down, get that fitted into the windows, and I'll be sticking it in place with dabs of Sikaflex throughout, just to be sure that it can't come off again. And then, as I say, that'll be all the windows that aren't going to be used, fully blacked out and fully insulated over. So I'll get this insulation cut down, get it adhered, and we'll pick it up when it's all in place. Right, so I've cut down all the insulation for the windows, but the paint itself is still drying up. So in the meantime, I'm going to start looking at getting the Altro safety flooring laid down as well. The Altro safety flooring is a rubber backed flooring, and it's really hard wearing stuff. Compare it to lino. Lino you can just puncture straight through just by standing on something daft like a screw, whereas this stuff is ultra hard wearing. It's the same type of stuff you see in offices, factories, things like that. So it's built for a hard wearing, working type environment. So as I say, laying it down in here, it's just going to give a nice professional look to the flooring, but there's not going to be any sort of concerns just regards to like puncturing it if you just accidentally stand on a nail, screw, things like that. It's that hard wearing. So I'm going to get it rolled out. Now unfortunately that roll itself is 2 meters and the floor plan in here is 2.1 meters wide. So there will be a little bit of offcut just going down the side as well, but that will all get hidden away when all of the units are built around it as well. So as I say, I'm going to get this unrolled, get it laid down as best as possible. I'll be doing some cuts around the frame for the double minibus seat at the front as well. And as I say, hopefully by the end of this video we'll have all the windows blacked out, insulated, and this flooring laid down as well. So I'm going to get some really sharp knives out because cutting this stuff is a real bugger to do. As I say, it's that hard wearing, it's really hard to cut as well. But as I say, I'll get it all laid down, get some cuts done and get it all fitted in. Right, so there's the Altro flooring, fully rolled out and cut down to shape. It's going edge to edge all the way from the front to the back. And as I say, because it's only 2 meters wide and the van itself is 2.1 meters wide internally, I've just put a little strip just going down the side there as well that's going to get glued down as well. But all of this section is going to get built in with the sofa bed, with the bed at the back and with the bathroom.
so any of this little extra trim won't be visible anyway, but I've just put it in just for a bit of continuity with the flooring. So to get it all stuck down, I'm just going to peel all of the safety flooring back up. I'm going to be using some high temperature trim fix adhesive, just spraying that in between the Altro flooring and the plywood that's in beneath. Then I'll be laying it back down, leaving it for a while for the glue to set, and that'll be the flooring pretty much all done. So I'll get all this peeled back, get all the plywood sprayed with the adhesive, we'll get the flooring laid and we'll pick it back up when it's all done.
Right, so now I've managed to get the Altro safety flooring all laid. It's given chance and time for all of the paint on the windows to fully dry up, and this is now fully dry now, as I said, touch fully dry, nothing coming off at all. So now I'm going to get the original trim put back in along the lower section to encapsulate the insulation. I'm also going to put the trim back around the windows, the original minibus trim, because again it's already moulded to the shape of the windows, so it would be a bit daft to then have to try and manufacture something after the fact when I've already got something there that's made specifically for the job. So I'm going to get the lower trim on, the window trim, then I'll get the insulation fitted to the windows that have all been blacked out. Then we'll pick it up again when all of the windows are fully insulated and all of the trim is back in place. So we'll get this original trim back in place and pick it up when it's all done. Right, so that's all of the original trim now fitted back in place, and as I say, the lower fiberglass panels have basically just encapsulated all of the lower insulation that's beneath the windows, and because the moulded fiberglass frame goes around the windows nicely as well, I say it would be a bit daft just to chuck this away then have to try and remanufacture something that is basically here and ready and made to fit. So these are being put back on now, so now the only thing I've got left to do is get the insulation boards, stick those in place against the window. Hopefully they should be pretty much flush with all of the trim as well. And I might put an additional sheeting over it as well, we'll see. But the first things first, I'll get the insulation in place and that'll be all of the windows blacked out, fully insulated, and the safety floor fitted as well. So I'll get cracked on and get this insulation fitted in. Right, so that's all the insulation in place for all the windows that are going to be getting blacked out and insulated throughout. These are a really nice snug fit in all of the windows, so there's no gaps for any sort of moisture or anything like that to accumulate. They're all still going to get some finishing touches over as well before they get fully cladded over, but that's all the insulation in place. So while all the Sikaflex dabs dry up, which is what I've used to adhere the boards to the windows, I'm going to start cutting down some of this 4mm ply. This ply is going to be going up on the headlining to create a new board for the headlining, of which there's then going to be PVC cladding that's going to be getting stuck to this headlining itself. But just using the ply, it's going to give a nice solid board that's, that all the PVC cladding will be able to get adhered to, rather than trying to get it stuck to all of the insulation boards, things like that. So I'm going to cut some of these 4mm ply boards down, get them stuck up on the headlining, and then that might probably be about it for this weekend's work, but we'll see. There might still be a little bit of time left over. So first things first, I'll get some safety gear out, some tools out, get these boards cut down, get them up on the headlining, and then we'll see if there's any time left after all of this is in place. Right guys, so there's another weekend pretty much all done then. So that's all of the Altro safety flooring all laid, cut to shape, cut around the stands for the additional minibus seating that's going to be mounted in as well. All of the windows being fully blacked out and insulated over. All of the original encapsulation for the insulation, all the original fiberglass panels, they've been put back in place around the window frames and beneath the windows, just to encapsulate in all the insulation beneath the windows, because as I say, it just seemed a bit daft just to recreate what's already here and in perfect condition. So they've been put back on as well. And then finally, I've started on the new layer of the new headlining as well, and this is what all of the PVC cladding is going to get adhered to. And again, this is just encapsulating all of the roof ceiling insulation as well. So as I say, that's a pretty good weekend for me. That's all the flooring done, windows blacked out, insulated, original coverings refitted, and new headlining put up. So next week I've just had the delivery of some CSL timbers. So in the next episode, hopefully I'm going to start framing out some of the back area for the bedroom, possibly framing out some of the bathroom area as well. So we'll be getting some of the walls built. I might be covering over some of the insulation as well. We'll see how that progresses. But as I say, that's all going to be in next week's episode. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button to follow along with this conversion week by week as I progress along with it. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, do consider giving it a good old thumbs up as well. It really does help the video more than you could even imagine. So as I say, if you're all the way through at the end of the video, please do give it a good old thumbs up as well. And hopefully, I'll see you on next week's episode of this conversion of a Mercedes minibus campervan conversion. Thanks for watching. Cheers.